Magical stuff, this stuff. Breakfast in a can, highly recommend. How are you, mate? You good? Good, that's what I like to hear. Welcome back to the channel. Things have changed. I'm kind of a big deal. This is a humble YouTube channel, averaging around 400 views per video. But things changed last week. Last video, at the time of recording this, is on 2.3k. I think the thumbnail is what done that for me, this side by side. But of course, thanks to the views, there's a lot more interaction with that video than normal. And it became very clear a lot of people haven't got a clue. So I thought in today's video, I'm going to be clearing up common bodybuilding misconceptions, myths. I really need to work on that title, but I'm sure you get my point. So as the day goes on, I'm going to pick up the camera, have a chit chat, and just help you avoid all the nonsense that's out there. Because there's a lot. Like it's a bit brain melting, mate, that some people say the words they say and believe it and back it and see it as fact. It's worrying, but it makes sense because there's a lot of people out there making zero progress, just spinning their wheels and just paying for a gym membership. But anyway, I'm gonna get on with work block number 1. 10 check-ins. Did you need to know I've got 10 check-ins? No. Just thought I'll give you a bit of detail. And yeah, as I said, mate, as the day goes on, I will pick up the camera and help you out, mate. And because I'm going to help you out and you're going to make loads of progress thanks to that, you're going to like, subscribe and comment to the video. Greatly appreciated. The first topic, getting shredded, mate. Now, a lot of people think that when they first start training, if they just take off the body fat they have, they will then be shredded. That is not the case. You'll just be skinny. To get shredded, you need quite a bit of muscle mass, mate. On screen, I'll put up some shots from my previous fat loss phase. I would have not been able to get into this level of condition if I did not have that muscle tissue there. The level of condition you can get into will always be determined by the amount of muscle mass you have. When I say condition, it's just a fancy word for saying shredded, really. The level of shreds, mate. Now, if you've just started the gym or you're new to training, do not focus on getting shredded, mate. Your focus should be on gaining muscle. So put yourself in a growth phase, progress your training over time, drive scale up alongside that, then a bit later down the line you can then diet down and actually get shredded because you've got the muscle mass there. And thanks to spending time in a growth phase, you have a lot of maneuverability. Because you've built your calories up over time, you've got a lot to pull from. So you've got plenty of room to make adjustments when needed to see that fat loss occur. Of course, to go into a growth phase, you do need to be in a decent spot body comp wise. So if you have started training but it's clear you've got a lot of body fat, diet down, but not with the goal of getting shredded. Diet down with the goal of just improving body comp so you can actually then get into a growth phase. And if you are skinny fat, I do feel for you, mate. Jokes aside though, 9 times out of 10 the issue there is not body fat. It's a lack of muscle mass. So again, get yourself into a growth phase. Just put yourself in a very reserved calorie surplus. I thought this was the first one I should mention because I see it all the time, especially on TikTok. It's sad. It's like they do mini series of getting shredded, but they're not going to get shredded. They haven't got enough muscle to get shredded. And then surprise, surprise, they end the series looking shredded, but in reality they're like slightly lean. Don't be one of those, mate. Do things properly. Make some serious progress. No bougie transitions in this video. I ran out of ideas, but this is point number 2. You join me in the kitchen, so I think it's appropriate we talk about nutrition. There are no magical foods. Yes, I'm really getting that basic on the channel. There are zero, nada. I see it a lot on Instagram. This is going to turn into a social media murder. I can just feel it. But these videos do well. Very well. And it normally consists of someone walking around a supermarket saying these are the 5 foods that build muscle or 5 foods that will help you lose fat. It's a load of rubbish. When it comes down to working towards your physique goal, you need to be managing your energy balance. Bit of a nutrition speed run here. Make sure you're eating enough calories relative to your goal. Make sure your macros are on point. Protein, fats and carbs. Use food sources that digest well and be consistent with that. And you'll be sound. Speaking of food, pre-workout meal here. I know what you're thinking, he's a chef. Is it focusing? I think it is. Beautiful. In this bowl, oats, whey protein, raisins, raspberries, dark chocolate. Carbs, protein, fats. Beautiful. Gonna eat this and then head to the gymnasium. In 4 legs, mate, and yes, you're invited. Watch me train. I'm not gonna do a full session breakdown. It'll be more yapping about whatever I fancy yapping about. And for point number 4, we're in the gymnasium. I'm actually training legs today. If you're a returning viewer, I know, mate, I can't believe it either. Feel like celebrating a bit. Anyway, point number 4 is there are no must-do or magical exercises. For example, I'm training legs today. I'll put up a shot of when my legs have looked their best. Peak scale weight when everything was dialed in before the chaos. I've never, ever done a barbell back squat. If we look at the barbell back squat, It's a very unstable movement that demands a very high skill level, and you can definitely not push it close to failure safely. Therefore, I opt for something like a hack squat or a leg press. Much more stable environment, far less demand from a skill perspective, and you can safely push it close to failure. I'm just gonna run through this session. If I come up with any more points, I'll tell you. I've got my numbers messed up. The last point was 0.3, so this is 0.4. It's my favorite one, I must admit. The difference between you and a world-class bodybuilder is not steroid use. I know, crazy. A lot of people think they're magical things, and if you were to take the same as C-Bum takes, or took when he was competing, you'd look like him, and that's just not the case. You will always be limited by the genetic cards you've been dealt. You can't moan about it, no need to cry. You just got to play with the cards you've been dealt. But I think it's important people realise this. The hardest work in the room is not the one with the best physique. It's a brutal, brutal game, and you will always be limited by your genetics. Do I think of what it takes to have a world-class physique, be part of the 1%? Hell no, not a chance. But I do have the ability to continue to progress and look better. And I'll take that, because I enjoy the process. On a side note, training legs so far, zero pain, mate. I can't believe it. Abdominal strain, completed it. Additional note, of course I'm back to training legs. The reason I had to stop training legs is because of an abdominal strain, start of a hernia. Anyway, it wasn't nice, mate. Abdominal ache like no tomorrow. Ball ache as well. I'm talking testicles, want fun. Anyway, that's healed up. I'm back to training legs, but I've changed my approach massively. Now, if I have to brace hard, low abdomen, not happy, hates it. So I'm trying to reduce load as much as possible while still creating a challenge. So instead of doing 2 working sets, heavy as I can on most exercises, I've done 4 sets on a leg extension, can't talk, 4 sets on a seated leg curl before getting to the hack. Before I was doing 4 plates and a 10 on this, quite comfortably. This 3 plates feels like I'm trying to move the world. It's a win-win. Still hitting a failure point in a relatively low rep range, but I'm not having to brace that hard. I'm not exposing my joints to as much load. So they'll be happy. I'm gonna do 2 more in here, 3 more leg press, line leg curl, then I'm gonna get out. I'm probably not gonna talk to the camera again. I'll talk to you, mate, when I'm back home. And for the 5th and final point, you join me in my kitchen 3 days later. Hence the haircut, the change in appearance. And believe it or not, another leg day has rolled round, mate. It's a relentless game, this bodybuilding game. But anyway, for the 5th and final point, I want to talk about nutrition, specifically post-workout nutrition. Now, I still see people making this mistake, and I used to do it all the time, but it's one you need to stop, like right now, mate. Once you finish your training session, do not nail your post-workout meal. I see it all the time, people finish their training and they're in a rush. They're nailing protein shakes, they're sitting down and having a full-on meal. That is useless. There is no way, and I mean no way, you're going to digest that well and uptake the nutrients of it. If you've just finished a training session, you're in a sympathetic state. Fight or flight, mate. Yes, I did get an A-star in drama. And due to this, that blood flow is away from the GI tract into your muscles, mate. Your digestive function isn't going to be great. So what you should do is drive home, have a shower, then eat. When your heart rate is back down to baseline, you're in that parasympathetic state, rest and digest, as I like to call it, and then you can eat your meal. Your digestion is going to be good, and you're actually going to be uptaking the nutrients of it. So key points, when you've been training, sympathetic state, fight or flight, you're in a good position to train, but not to eat. So you want to get into that parasympathetic state, rest and digest, ready to eat, digest food well, and uptake the nutrients of it. Just to add to that, in my opinion, digestion is massively overlooked. If you're eating 4,000 calories, but your digestion is not good, you are not uptaking the nutrients of 4,000 calories. If you've eaten a meal and straight away you need to go to the toilet, or you're bloated, you got the hiccups, your body's just making funny noises, that's not good. That shouldn't be ignored. That needs to be addressed. But anyway, that's the topic for another video. Summary on the final point, weird hand gesture that, a bit like a karate chop, mate. Eat your post-workout meal when you're back home and you're chilling out in a parasympathetic state, rest and digest, and you'll be sound. But I'm gonna leave the video there. I need to go and train. I said a video a week. I didn't say a good video. But remember to like, subscribe, comment if you're feeling dangerous. And you should know this by now, I run an online coaching service. If you're looking to level up your physique and work towards a similar transformation, then send me a DM on Instagram. I can send you all the info and we can go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. Oh, side note, new t-shirt from Vanquish. I'm normally an XL. I ordered this in XL. It's too big, mate. But rookie mistake, because as I was trying it on, Dexter got to the bag, mate, and just ripped it up like there's no tomorrow. So I'm feeling like a little boy. I feel like my parents have bought this for me, and I'll grow into it.